and packing a deadly array of state-of-the-art missile systems, this stealth jet of the new millennium can intercept and strike any target with near impunity.
They die. They die without knowing where the Raptors are. They die without knowing that they were targeted. They die wholesale.
Now, using unique footage, we'll take you on an all-access tour of America's newest superweapon, the F-22 Raptor. (1981). In his first press conference as chief executive of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan offered a deal to the Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev. If Soviet SS-20 missiles aimed at Western Europe were removed, America would not deploy its Pershing II cruise missiles to counter the threat. Strong experience in stealth technology, Northrop with its B-2, and Lockheed with its F-117 lead the way. Northrop's Advanced Tactical Fighter, or ATF design, was for an alien-looking aircraft with diamond planform wings and huge V-tails. It was a design that stressed speed and stealth.
Northrop came in with an airplane that really, from the very beginning, looked just like the YF-23 that eventually was built and flown.
Lockheed's entry echoed that of the F-117. Its vectored thrust, arrowhead shape, trapezoidal wings, and 4 tails ensured that the aircraft would be maneuverable.
The fact was that Lockheed and Northrop had significant advantages in the fact that they had built stealth aircraft and flown them. There's a big credibility factor there.
On October the 31st, 1986, both Lockheed and Northrop's ATF designs were declared the winners of the competition. Under the terms of the Dem-Val competition, each team would build 2 aircraft. At the end of the process, one of 2 designs would become America's new advanced tactical fighter. Costing billions of dollars, the new fighter would make a technological leap into the 21st century. Just 9 months after being selected to build 2 demonstration valuation fighters for the US Air Force, Lockheed shocked everyone and scrapped its original design. Largest program of its kind. And in 1990, just months after the disintegration of the Soviet Union, the shapes of the 2 rival designs were finally unveiled.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present to you the YF-22A, prototype for U.S. air superiority in the 21st century.
On behalf of the entire team, I am honored to present the YF-23.
Northrop's version, called the YF-23, closely resembled its original design.
Well, it was a most unusual looking aircraft, very futuristic. It had twin V-tails as opposed to what we call a cruciform, twin verticals and twin horizontals. It had a large trapezoidal wing, and it had a very slender shape when looked at from the edge-on view.
In contrast, Lockheed's design, called the YF-22, seemed surprisingly conventional, with 4 tail surfaces, vectored thrust, a broad solid body, and a conventional wing. But unlike Lockheed's other stealth aircraft, the F-117, radar-absorbent materials were not applied over the whole of the F-22. The most crucial stage of the competition is still to come, the flight testing. Northrop was first in the air. In August 1990, flown by Paul Metz, the YF-23 got airborne. The test was a huge success. But Lockheed was quick to respond, and on September the 29th, at Edwards Air Force Base in California, Lockheed Chief Test Pilot Dave Ferguson prepared the Raptor for its maiden flight.
I pulled on the runway and looked down the runway. It was just a feeling of really relief and that we're going to do it. And I ran the airplane up to 80% military power. And the acceleration was just amazing. I mean, it was like an F-15 in full afterburning. And I felt the only thing in this airplane that's ever flown before was me. And I think in the back of my mind I was saying, please fly, when I pulled the nose up, and it just lifted off. I was fully aware we had a wonderful flying airplane, and the handling qualities in the takeoff and landing, or power approach as we call it, were just absolutely superb. When I landed and Sherm met me at the airplane, I said, hey boss, we really have a winner here.
The way the YF-23 in a number of crucial performance areas.
We focused on the supersonic testing, including supercruising, and we did something that Northrop didn't do, and that is we did launch a couple of missiles. We launched a Sidewinder out of the internal side bay on our prototype airplanes, and we launched an AMRAAM long-range air-to-air missile out of the internal weapon bays.
The YF-22 had clearly shown that in every category it was far superior to any existing fighter.
The Air Force was very impressed by what Lockheed had done. Their flight test program was very aggressive.
Scathed. On April the 1st, 1991, the U.S. Air Force awarded a $9.5 billion contract to the Lockheed, Boeing, General Dynamics team responsible for the winning F-22 Raptor design. Having won the contract, Lockheed announced that it intended to locate the F-22's headquarters in Georgia, where the Raptor's forward fuselage would be built. General Dynamics will build the F-22's mid-body section in Fort Worth, Texas, and Boeing would manufacture the wings and tail in Seattle, Washington. But just 8 months after the contract was awarded, the program hit its first major snag.
We lost one of the YF-22s. Fortunately, the test pilot, who's a good friend of mine then and now, walked away unharmed.
During preliminary testing, the unthinkable happened. A YF-22, flown by Tom Morgenfeld, crashed just after takeoff. As this unique footage shows, the aircraft's thrust vectoring system forces it to belly land on the runway. A key element of the Raptor's design, thrust vectoring uses movable exhaust nozzles to alter the angle of thrust from the two Pratt & Whitney engines. As the Raptor makes its low-level flyby, Tom Morgenfeld keeps the stick forward to keep the nose down. But as the landing gear is retracted, the thrust vectoring engages and pushes the aircraft towards the tarmac. As the pilot struggles to correct this change in direction, the Raptor seesaws.
Well, you really only have to do one.
The Raptor carries a formidable array of ordnance. All of the Raptor's weapons are housed inside the aircraft. Two bays at the bottom of the plane utilize a pneumatic-style hydraulic launcher that literally punch the missiles, or JDAMs, out of the aircraft with a force of 40 Gs. And two side bays house air-to-air missiles. Here, a trapeze launcher moves the missile outside the airframe very rapidly, a fraction of a second before the missile is fired. And to complement the Raptor's armament of 8 missiles, the fighter also has a gun. At one point in the evolution of the Advanced Tactical Fighter program, the US Air Force had raised the question of eliminating the gun to save weight.
I think that the designers of the F-22 realized mistakes of the past, like the F-4 initially being designed without a gun, and realized that you should never say never about a threat that you're going to face or a situation you're going to find yourself in. And so the Raptor has designed itself a gun. Will anybody get close enough for us to use the gun? Well, hopefully not, probably not.
By the late 90s, pilots in the Raptor program were convinced that their aircraft was made of the right stuff and would easily be able to outperform and destroy any other fighter in existence.
It is the sum of the parts that makes the F-22 so capable. Probably most important in my eyes is the stealth. Having an aircraft that nobody can see is just a tremendous, tremendous advantage. The speed, the maneuverability, the precision, all of those factors are incredible also. So when you put everything together, the Raptor is just incredible.
But this belief was exclusively based on controlled flight and missile firing exercises. What the Raptor's pilots really needed was combat experience, and they were about to get it. Before the F-22 Raptor enters operational service with the US Air Force in the autumn of 2005, it will have completed thousands of hours of vigorous combat testing. But since Desert Storm, critics of the F-22 program claim that the F-15 Eagle, destined to be replaced by the Raptor, already has the attributes necessary to remain the world's preeminent air superiority fighter well into the new millennium. It is a view dismissed by